Hey friends, so many of you asked about my letterboard in my living room, so I made a smaller version to show you. This one is only a 24 by 24 and you can make it any size you want. I grabbed two 1x4 pine boards at Lowe's and cut them to 23.5 inches. I also grabbed two square dowels to use as a shelf, and I grabbed two decorative mold pieces to put on the front of the dowels so the letters don't fall. I'll show you all that shortly. You don't have to use pocket holes to put together your sign. You can actually use a thin piece of wood to screw it on. Just make sure you put one on the left side, one on the right side. But I like to use these pocket holes because they're just so clean and they're really easy to use. Now, I got to put my air conditioning on because I was dying in the garage. It's so hot. I did sand these down with two types of sandpaper, 120 and 220, just because I wanted to make it smooth. And right here is where I screwed up because I forgot to put glue in between the wood because I knew y'all were watching me and it was making me nervous. So I had to take it apart and put glue in between the boards and then re-screw it back together. And then I made another mistake because I realized that my cuts were not exactly the same and I had to do a little jigsawing to get that fixed. But it's okay. Y'all aren't mad at me. I know you're not, but I was so nervous doing this for you guys. But anyways, here's those little dowels that I used to make my shelves. This was the hard part, trying to figure out how far apart to put these to make sure that everything lined up perfectly, because you do have to take into account how big your letters are going to be to determine how far apart to put these pieces of wood. So that I can't tell you exactly how to do. You're just going to have to play with it. And then there's that little decorative piece that I told you I put on the front to make everything sit right. And then since this is going to be white, I went ahead and put one coat of primer on there. You don't have to, but I have learned that in the past that if you don't put primer underneath white paint, it will eventually kind of turn yellow. I went extra fancy on these and I used my Glowforge to make my little signs, but you can definitely just go and get wood from Lowe's, cut it down to like 2.5 by 3 inches, and then you can stencil on your letters. My son's room is kind of boho, so that's why we went with this style, but I think it turned out super cute, and you guys, it's very easy, I promise, to do. So I hope you loved it. Smooches, bye.